Okay guys, hello again to the Good Review channel, and this time this chapter is going to assemble the A10T of Geeetech. It's a nice printer. I have the A10M just behind me and printed without quite a bit, and now I have the A10T. A10T is a 3 extruders. Now we're going to start assembling it. Now I'm not great in that, but I will do it slowly, step by step, if you don't mind. So I'm just going to work with the manual that we have over here, just to make sure that the manual is alright and everything is in order. The gantry and bottom frame are assembled from the bottom of the machine with a 4 M5 by 45 screws and 4 spring washers M5. That's interesting. I wonder if I have my plan here, because something that I do know with Geeetech, they never write or they don't have like nylon bags with the definition of exactly which bolts needs to be used where. I hope they will have it eventually, but they do have a number 3 on their nylon bag for some reason, with something in Chinese. Unfortunately, I don't know what that is. Later on I might see the translation. So let's check that out. Just check that it's the right dimensions, if you don't mind. Oh, yep, I'm trying to do it thoroughly if I can. So this is an M5 on. Comes with the washers in it, so that's quite tidy. 45, yes, these are the bolts that I need to use, 4 of them, with the washers. Previously it was quite hard to assemble, but now we'll see how that works for us. So one thing that is quite important is the orientation of things, and this one is an anarchy. And it's good that I'm here, because I have my own tools, which usually I like to use. And I don't have to use them though, because Geeetech is providing everything, and that's something that I really see as a good point with Geeetech. But I have my own issues, and I like to use tools of my own. But sometimes make it easier. Now, let's see if this is the right one. I think it is. Yep, hand tools are always good to use. And orientation is very important. So let's see if I have a picture of everything pre-assembled. So yeah, I have a very tiny figure over here that's showing me where and how everything should be assembled at the end. So it's exactly as the A10M. The Y or X rail is basically extruding forward. You have the USB pointing forward and the micro SD. So basically what I need to do is just assemble all of this way. Exactly that way. This is pretty nice. It sits nice even now, but I think in order to avoid any damage to the plate, I will raise the Z slightly, just to make sure it's not going to hit the plate. Yeah, that's fine. Now, exactly as I've done before in my previous videos with the A10M, I'm just going to slide it slightly over here to the edge of the table. Slide one bolt from underneath and see if that's by hand I can thread the first one in. It's not that straightforward, if you know what I mean, but yeah, the first one went in pretty smoothly. Let's see if the second one will do the same. threading by hand. That's neat. The reason I'm saying that is because the A10 was quite stiff and hard to thread these bolts in, and I don't want to put all the pressure now on these bars, so I'm just going to lean in slightly. This one's in, see what's going on. Again, put it by hand, see if I can find the thread. Yeah, it seems pretty good. Can't complain. Yep. So I have to give thumbs up to Geeetech in that aspect. I literally threaded everything by hand, and now I just need to torque it. So things that you're taking out of granted, definitely not granted. Definitely not. Don't need to take everything out of granted, because every small thing that you're doing, Geeetech is taking into consideration, and they do fix things up in their production line. And that is something that is quite remarkable, because it isn't still a company with affordable 3D printing and printers. So, yep, that's good to know that they've changed things up. So yeah, so 4M4x45. I'm just looking to see if all the bolts on the sides and everything have been torqued properly, and that looks they are pretty good. I can't say that I'm trying to find faults, but I'm happy to see that they've done mods compared to what I had with the A10M, and good mods, things that helps me. So help with me, can't say bad things. Yep, let's go to step number 2. Fix the PSU to the gantry frame with 2 M4x20. So we're talking about the PSU, the power system unit, and we need to assemble it. Okay, so first of all, I'm using 230. This is an extremely important pin. This is the orientation, and this is how it's supposed to be assembled. Yep, I can see the threads. And probably in the same, no, I need 2M4x20. These definitely doesn't look like M4, so it's not number 3. But on the other hand, these ones look pretty insane. Let's have a look if they are the one that I need. So we're talking about M4x20. Yeah, so it's written in there unstated or undetailed, or basically unmarked nylon bag. So now I need to change my tooling. I'm going to keep that around just to make sure that everything is seated properly. So we have the same slots, quite straightforward. So we are talking about 4 bolts on the bottom. Now I'm talking about additional 2 to mount the PSU. Yeah, that's quite easy to assemble. Yeah, I wonder if the LCD mount is going to be easy as well, because previously that was a shocker. It wasn't good at all. So we will see how things are going. Yeah, that looks good. The PSU is mounted properly. Everything hand tight. Yeah, can't complain. Fix the LCD now. LCD to the correct holes on the right side of the base with a 2 M5x10. I assume that this is with the unmarked nylon bag. Now it's empty. This is an M5x10 dome heads. Now this is not written which type of bolts I need to use, but these are the dome heads. And dome heads, even though they are M5, yep, it's the same head as the M4, so that's good. But something that is not written over here is that I would recommend pre-assemble the wiring. So over here you have a flex cable, which is going to be easier to mount it now, to connect it now, instead of connecting it later, because later on it's going to be unreachable. So right now I am going to assemble it over here. You can see that the connector is down there, and later on it's going to be a little bit harder to reach. It's not extremely hard, but now interesting enough is to see if the bolts looks pretty good. My hands are shaky maybe, but we will see if everything will fit. First bolt by hand. Guys, this is not something that the A10 ham had. Second bolt by hand, Nate. I have to say that I am impressed. The mechanical assembly of this kit is pretty straightforward. And okay, yeah, one electrical connection that already been done by me. Okay, yeah. So these two have been assembled. That's good. Good. Fix the LCD number 3 has been done. I just recommend to change the connection, the electrical connection. Number 4, assemble and fix the 3 sets of extruder units to the back side of the top gantry. That's fine. Let's have a look. Basically, what that refers to is that I need to take these 3 extruders, yep, to the back. Let's have a look. Yep. Again, the good thing in these instructions is that I don't need to change tooling too much, and that's maybe funny for others, but that's good for me. However, the only thing that I would recommend is maybe putting where is the recommended location for each one, because now we have 3, and the top bar is starting to be slightly crowded with extruders, but the locking nuts over there is a brilliant way to solve this or to mount this, so I'm happy that they've chosen that. Hope that they still have battery on. I'm taking pictures with my phone currently. Just as I mentioned to you before, the good thing in Geeetech is that they're taking everything into consideration, so if everyone can take pictures and videos and eventually show it, that can be very beneficial, because in my kit, as I mentioned to you, it's version 1.2 I think, is the hardware aspect. Maybe I don't have issues that others will in different versions, so everything needs to be detailed, so they will know which version they had issues with and which they don't, and this way they basically can help us more, because eventually we want to have the best printers visible, because it is great to have a blending machine, blending color machine. That's an amazing thing. Yep, so I've done number now. This outfit and good to go. Yep. Assemble and fix the 3 sets of extruder units to the back of the top gantry. Done. Filament holder kit was assembled. Filament holder kit was assembled with 4 and 3x16 screws. Wasn't assembled, guys. You need to assemble them. There's a lot of English issues, but don't mind. I'm not a native one, so whatever you use is good for me. So these are quite nice. I wonder if I can remove this, the brownish thing, because I think that I like the holder tire. Okay. One more thing that I think they took out of how they maybe didn't. No, this is the wiring. One thing that they haven't taken into consideration is the sensors. And that took into consideration that we already know where they need to be put, and that's not written in the instructions. So this is something that the Geeetech needs to take into consideration. And it's a pity that I cannot remove. It looks like it's a nice finish. Nice lax finish. Maybe this scraper will help me with that. Yeah. What did it say? Instead of having a brownish finish, I will have a nice, shiny black finish. That's awesome. And I think that's even a very good solution for my A10M. Because I insisted on mounting it on the top because Geeetech instructions say that this is how it needs to be. But I think that now that's nice. I like it. So this one will take me a slightly bit more time to take off. Filament holders, 4M 3x16 screws, 4M3 nuts, 4M3 washers. A total of 3 sets were assembled. So, yep. Now, unfortunately, I have to scratch it to take off this brownish thing, brownish protective. Now, if I'll do it from the tabs. The tabs are the thing that's getting into the base. If they are going to be scratched, I don't really care. But I will appreciate if Geeetech can come up with a better solution than me scratching my nice new brackets out. This is just a visual thing, but still, it will be nice. Just putting it in the box. And again, I'm not a genius of assembling everything, so forgive me if I'm doing things in the crappy little way. This is my way. Yep, so it's 2 to go. 2 more kits to go. That's going to take a while. I wonder if they have a trick to do that instead of me. Maybe that's why they have included tiny clippers. Who knows? Sorry about that. Hope that you all feeling well. And hope that in the near future we'll have a lot of good example of the A10T. Because I really love type of technology. Eventually I like it to be just straightforward. I can just request something and I can just print that out pretty straightforward. The only thing I just need to look for slices and stuff. That's usually taking quite a bit of time. But this is part of life, isn't it? Technology. Let's just take it pace. So yeah, it's going around pretty smoothly. Nice. Nicely placed. So it's not shown over here how to assemble it properly, but it does show that I need to use an M4x3. So it's a few kits there. So I assume it's the big bag over here. Let's see if I'm right. So we talked about 4 M3x16. This is an M3x16. Funny enough. So M4, M3x16 washers. Do I have enough washers over here? It's 4, so I assume that I don't have enough. They don't really say where to put the washer. To put it in the bolt side or to put it in the washer side. And put it on the nut side, I assume. I thought, but I'm going to put the nuts are basically rectangular nuts that just need to be slotted in a dedicated location of the perspex, and yeah, by hand everything goes smoothly. Nicely printed, but I need to change my screwdriver head as it looks. Okay, as you can imagine, second nut struggling to get in, and I think with perspex that you need to be very careful with that. Oops. Let's try another one. Maybe it was. I'm finding myself using these clippers more than I should. But I think that one got it pretty easily because he knew that he is the first one and the others don't. Let's see if it's an angle thing. This makes my life harder to reach. No, it just doesn't fit. So those nuts are something that it's not in the real dimensions it needs to be done to be. So, oh, this one, no, it's, yeah, but pushing it slightly harder. Let's see if the same thing over here. The one that I use, well, 4, as you can see, it's in the dimensions that I would imagine it to be. The other one, which didn't go through, no, just doesn't like to go through. Now it seems that there is 2 different edges. One that is smooth. I assume that it's like a machine to do so, but no, it's not going in. Doesn't like it. Doesn't like the slot. Definitely doesn't like the slot. Bugger. So printer assembly is fine, but filament holder is a different thing. It's going to be challenging. Hey, this is the one that fell. So as you can imagine, there are two different sizes with two different tolerances. So bear in mind to check all of that before you are assembling. Just to make your life slightly more easy. This is one. This is two. I'm showing you the real movie just for you to understand from bottom up, from bottom, whatever you want to call it. But you can do it by yourself. This is one of the most important things from my point of view, because again, I'm not a genius, and if I can do it, oh, this one went well. Yeah, so it's probably a tolerance issue that Geeetech need to fix in next revisions, just to make sure it's going to be easier for everyone. But I have to say that these holders look neat. So yeah, you know your Geeetech, better than putting it on the reel, on the top reel. So one in. This is the nut that fell. That changed tooling. It's an M3, isn't it? I wonder which. Yep, it's a 2.5. Where's my handle? Where is it? Here. Not too strong. Appears that they don't have much tolerance on the ball size as well. It's almost touching the top. So it should be hand tight, but not more. Now I want to see this goes in. Very nice. Yep. So first one is pre-assembled. Let's see if I still have battery left to go. Yeah. It looks like you need to run quickly with these ones. Or we'll just skip it for later, because that's obviously going to be in the chapter of printing. So that's nice. Just put it on the side. I understand how I need to assemble it, and we understand the issues that we have. So that's basically the idea of bringing up these kind of videos after the year, just to make sure that everyone is aligned. We don't have any additional surprises. Okay, now, so as I mentioned to you, there is no statement about how to assemble this. I will take out of my, nothing is written on it. There is a warning on there, obviously to switch in the PSU. Nothing is written on these little bodies. So what I am going to do is there is a kit over here. is a kit over here, but doesn't mention. Over here we have two holes which needs to be used. It's quite interesting to see how to assemble it, because in the past we don't have the instructions how to, so I might get Geeetech to respond to that later on. I just don't know which bolt to use, to be frank. Let's see if this is the one. It's supposed to be assembled over here, and as usual the one that disturbs it is the tube. I had the same issue in the past. I wonder how it's going to live now with the tube. I would say that it's alright. It seems to be okay. I might need to get the stairs, the bolts which I need. I have smaller bolts over here, but I doubt if that's going to 32 now. It's not going to be long enough. That's interesting. These are the bolts that I used for the holders. So I assume that these are the only bolts that I can use for this installation. Yep. In bag number 3, which is stated as bag number 3. Now in order to install them, I need to grab the tube slightly, maybe the tweezers. It's going to work better. No, it's not. It's basically, it's pretty hard. Okay, we're back. Basically what I've done now, except I'm opening the fan, which I'm going to close now, is I built these ones. And the only way to successfully put all the nuts in is using this plier. So bear in mind a little force. And the other thing is that I've done is I put one sensor, filament sensor in using these fasteners. So these are in bag number 3, which is written in Chinese wording. It's an M3 by 16. Hopefully that's exactly what needed to be used, but as I mentioned before, I will ask Geeetech later. Hopefully I'm not going to find myself with an issue later on. It looks like I need to put it from the top, exactly as I'm thinking. You know what? Looking at the picture now, I think it's not referring to this. Well, it's referring to the picture in the manual, referring to the old version. So that's strange as well. Never mind. Now, to put the PT tube back, it looks like you have a small window to show you that you pushed it far enough, which is nice. Now with the plier, taking the PTFE out, this one is stubborn. Okay. Are you stubborn? Don't be stubborn. It's not hurting anyone else. And we're putting this one in, third one. Just don't have any other bolt which will do the job, so This is what I'm using. Now don't over tighten it, because this one needs to have slightly bit of freedom. Just to this one doesn't help me much. All of them are fine. Good. So, going to the wiring section. Before I'm doing that, I'm just going to put all of the different extruded tubes in. 1, 2, 3. I need to check each and every one of them. Ooh. Let's just now push. It went in pretty small. That's interesting. Okie dokie. Now, let's see what else we have with the wiring. So yep, insert the 3 Teflon tubes into the quick insert section. Insert connectors of the 3 extruder kits respectively. Step 2, insert the LCD cables into the LCD socket behind the LCD screen, which I've done when I installed it. Connect 2 sets of power cables. Note, can be connected arbitrarily without an order. So that's nice. Let's have a look on here. It's going to be hard for you to look at though. Oh. So over here we have 1 cable, 2nd cable. Yes, they are threaded underneath. However, don't like them being threaded between cables. This is something I'm not appreciating too much. These are standalone cables here. Now wrench it. I can connect them as with whatever order I want. It's an XT60 connectors if you are concerned on which connector it is. They're all fully connected. That's good. Next. Step 4. Plug the extruder cables into the socket of the extrusion head adapter plate, and the buckle must be fastened. Okay, because there is a buckle now, which is good. And maybe now I'm going to change the location of the camera, so you're going to be able to have a closer look. Last but not least, we need to adhere it eventually. So I'm just going to remove this protective film. This one is definitely not sticky, but we'll try to avoid touching it to avoid any oily areas. This is the sticker, so we'll try to put that as proper as possible. And this one needs to stick out. Okay, they have a little tab that needs to stick out. It looks the right size anyhow. 3M is the company, so I assume that it still it is a good adhesive. It's a good company in that aspect. Good. Pretty straightforward. And that's it. Now we'll be ready for full installation after I'm going to understand why is it stopping every now and then. That's it. Have a good day.